your host, Rob, and today I'm joined by two guest co-hosts. We have returning Dan.
Hello.
And Jerry.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good, I got your name right. And he's Dan's friend and co-worker, and we just got out of seeing Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. It's based on a comic book or graphic novel series that came out back in the 60s. And the movie is set in the future where Valerian, played by Dane DeHaan, who some of you might remember as Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Lauraline, played by Cara, are a team of special operatives who are sent on missions in human territories in space. One mission sends the two to embark on a place called Alpha, which is a city of 1,000 planets, where species from all over the universe have come together peacefully over the centuries to share knowledge, their culture, their intelligence with each other. But an unknown enemy threatens Alpha, and Valerian and Lauraline must stop them. So that's basically the gist of the film, and let's start with our new guy on the block. What was your overall impression with the movie?
I thought it was a pretty good movie. Out of a 10, I'd say I would give it like a 7.5. I thought the visuals were fantastic. It had a pretty good storyline, although like some people could say it was a little rushed. I did have a few complaints about it, but overall I would say it was a decent movie to watch.
Oh, what were your complaints on it?
A few. The first being that the two main characters, Valerian and Lauraline, although they were highly trained in what they did and they worked well together, I feel that they didn't go deeply into why these two were chosen for such a big, important mission. And I wish they would have gone a little bit more into that, although they did do a pretty good job at developing like those two characters individually. Another criticism I had is this power source, this pearl, that was in pretty much the entire movie. They seem to really hype this up, as well as the converter, the little critter that each character was trying to protect. They seem to hype it up, and it was throughout the entire movie, but then it seemed to just kind of fall through near the end. There wasn't really like a big purpose of it besides what the aliens of Mule like needed as a power source. I assumed there was going to be some kind of big plot twist with this pearl and the converter, where the main antagonist was trying to get it to for either money, power, or something along those lines. So. And the only other big complaint I had is, although like the visuals were fantastic, I felt the storyline was a little rushed and they could have slowed down a little bit, and I think that would have made it overall something good movie.
And Dan, your point of view?
Well, I'd give it a 7 because some of the stuff that Jerry was actually saying was good points, but going back into the movie is that their space tech, where did it actually come from and how was it built and why is it that strong to actually go through the walls? That's some of the points that I want to know right off the beginning. But I think that the plot needs to be kind of, like Jerry said, kind of slowing down. It just doesn't need to be so rushed that people kind of get confused about where everything's going to be at and where people have to be standing in which place at what time and how they're going to react.
Okay, and it sounds like you're talking about when they're doing the market scene at near the beginning of the movie where it looks like they're in another dimension and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. My overall impression was I was kind of disappointed with the movie because like I mentioned in my summer preview video, this movie, the trailers looked really visually stunning, and I had never heard of Valerian or Lauraline before. So when I saw in the trailer, based on the groundbreaking graphic novel, I'm like, okay. So I looked it up and did some research, and it sounded very relevant. You got this peaceful cultural city, metropolis city, with everyone learning from each other. They're living peacefully and they're bonding together, and then this evil force comes along and is trying to ruin it, as well as there's a little thing with the planet Mule with the aliens as well. And I thought you could see this different ways. You could see it as a metaphor politically or what have you. But when I saw the movie, my problem with it was Well, for one thing, the action scenes in this movie, in my opinion, just weren't thrilling or exciting. I gotta admit, I wasn't disappointed with the visuals. Acting was hit and miss with me. I really liked Dane DeHaan as Valerian. I liked Cara Delevingne at first, but in the scenes where there's chases going on and she's trying to, talk to Valerian, and there's chases going on, you need to get somebody that's, she felt so monotone to me. You need a little bit more, like, Valerian, don't go that way, look at that, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more on the edge of your seat. And then there's something that I really admired was that they tried to have the two of them kind of be snapping back and forth. It's like Valerian is like this lady killer, and Lauraline is more, the smart, intelligent one. Mm-hmm. And it's like watching Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow in the Iron Man movies, almost what they're trying to go for, I think, and that was nice. But whenever she says something snappy like that, it just isn't as funny. I think you need the right comedic timing to pull that off. Like, again, look at Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr. When they do snappy dialogue and are sarcastic to each other, it's really funny, it works. Here, it didn't quite make it. Yeah. And like the criticism that I seem to hear from both of you is that, it seemed like there's a lot going on, and you don't feel like you understand this world. And when a character does try to explain like a creature or something, it's like it gets bogged down and confusing,
Yeah.
So, but I was just, there were a few points in the movie I was into the movie, and there were some points where I felt like I was taken out because I felt like I was dumb and didn't know what was going on. I like that what the movie was trying to say. Like I said, there's talk about the aftermath of war. There's a theme about love, and I like that very much. But I felt like there was just so much going on, and I didn't really care for the lead characters like I wanted to.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, because I actually have read a couple other reviews by people and looked into it. And a lot of them had the same opinion as you did about Lauraline, that she was very dry, monotone, and she was actually like a big hit or miss, mostly a miss for a lot of other viewers. And another like criticism I had was it was the city of 1,000 planets where all these aliens come together. Well, they seem to only focus on 4, really. It was like the humans, it was the technological species that did all like the data and everything. There was the aquatic species that worked with like the neuroanatomy, and then there was the 4th. But it was the city of 1,000 planets.
Yeah, you do see them here and there. There's just no time to focus on all of them.
Yes, that's true. And I get that at the certain scene where Valerian was going after the commander, and he was looking for the shortest path where he had to use his suit to charge the walls. I get what they were trying to do, where he was just pretty much charging through all these different areas, and it was a nice visual and everything, but I also feel that it was a little rushed, that they were just mainly doing that to show off like the different like species in the different areas. Like I feel like they could have probably did that in a little better way.
They could have just made the movie a little bit more smoother. It was roughed around the edges. But other than that, I thought it was A-okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and rate the movie now. Here's how our ratings work. There's see it in theaters, which we would recommend at theaters. There's see at home, like wait for it to come out on DVD or streaming, or snuff it where just like skip it altogether. How would you rate the movie?
I would rate it as see it at home, although I did have quite a few complaints. It still is a visually outstanding movie. There are a lot of points being covered, like Rihanna's dance and acting. And
I forgot she was in the movie.
yeah, and that was another complaint.
Thanks for reminding me.
That was another complaint I heard. A lot of people liked her dance and her style and everything, but for her first acting role, I have heard, and I can kind of agree that it was a little dry.
She was okay.
Yeah, well, like you said, she was kind of forgettable. So yeah, with that, so I would say see it at home film.
All right, Dan.
I would say rent it from a library if you're that interested actually to see the movie. Rent it first before you actually buy it.
Alright, I'm gonna go with see it at home. I really wanted to give it a see in theaters because it is visually, it looks great on the big screen, and the sound effects all around and stuff was great, but without a good story, well, I wouldn't say the story's not good, but without the interest of the story or the characters to go with, it's just not worth the admission. So I'm gonna say see it at home as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we had a nice discussion about Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and now we're going to turn the comments over to you. What did you think of the movie? Go ahead and post your comments. Did you perhaps like it more than we did? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? Go ahead and post your comments, and if you're interested, come check out the main page. Look at some other movies that you can watch either in the theaters or at home. And if you're interested, consider being a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Jerry, for stopping in.
No problem, bro.
And Dan, well, thank you for coming back.
You're welcome.
All right, and if you want to see more of these guys, you can post comments too. We'll see. All right, thank you for your watching.
Like us.
And subscribe.
Mm.